So this is a new Technics direct drive turntable. This is the SL1200 GR.
GR. And what we're trying to do is keep as much of the 1200 experience from our new much higher price model at $4,000. We're trying to keep as much intact as we can. Things like the coreless direct drive motor. This has a coreless direct drive motor. It's a single rotor coreless direct drive motor. And we at the price point we're trying to hit with this is we can't quite give you everything we've given you with the G model, but this is the single rotor coreless direct drive motor.
And the platter the same?
And when we put the two together, you have kind of like the old version of the SL1200 was a two-piece system. And this, remember how much the other one weighed?
Yep.
You can feel it's still got some weight to it.
Oh yeah, but not quite as.
And it doesn't, it's still anti-resonant because we've addressed that here. But a lot goes into that. You'll still have the benefit of in the other model. Also, it's a two-layer plinth. Still very heavy, kind of weight to it. I have to check the weight, and we've kept all the familiar features of the turntable are still here. They're all there, kind of for a reason that we set with our original model. Kind of like the same reason your shifters and your clutch and your gas pedal are in the same place. All these are here for a reason that you could use it with your eyes closed. We still have the target light. And we're using, although it looks identical, it is an aluminum tone arm. But all these changes, we expect to be around maybe a $2,000 price point.
So half the price.
So we can, I think someone that might have been considering getting involved with the G model at $4,000, they can dive in now. Excuse me, still have a SL1200 experience, and when you listen to it, I think trying to put a number on just how much of the performance you can get.
Hard to do that, isn't it?
It's really hard to say, but it's still a great experience in using it. And it still has a ton of torque. So all the things that you appreciate with a direct drive and the stability and the coreless motor.
So that's the motor in the bigger one.
This is the original motor, right? And with the original motor, you have twin rotors. And you saw that single rotor system.
So how annoying is it when the article in the Times comes up? They changed the motor. The way they say that.
It frustrates me, and there's so much more detail to it that I think that, again, the people that are going to appreciate the differences are the audiophile community that can really hear the differences by having this as the first thing that changed that coreless motor. That's what enables all these other improvements that our engineers have made to let you hear deeper into what we all experience from blinding. So.
And they did touch on the fact that it's made much more meticulously, but it's very dismissively stated. That's the problem.
It's a handmade process, which I'm not sure they can appreciate, and it's time-consuming. The turntable itself is still all made in Japan, most of it by hand in Japan. And the finished product is just an amazing piece of craftsmanship, and I think that for us to be able to do it at a $4,000 price point is amazing, but to be able to deliver a lot of it, quite a bit of it, at potentially half the price is just an amazing.
Yes, that is.
And we still have the ability to. We still have some silicone in the footers, and these can be adjusted for balance, so you can balance and lay everything out. We still have the protected isolation device where your RCA cables go in, so that you have your ground, and you can change cables. You can change your AC cables, so you can put an IEC AC. You can replace your AC cord or your RCA cables.
Right. Of course, those same people would say that none of that can make a difference, but that's the problem. The problem is they have not experienced or they don't understand what we're talking about, so they write about it dismissively. But if they wrote about wine, those same business people, they would say the same thing about wine, but they won't, because there's a pressure on them to say that, oh, wine must make a difference, better wine must be better. I want to show I'm a sophisticated. But in this subject, the better thing to do is to mock the sophistication.
I tend to agree with it.
That's
because
the problem.
we all appreciate a lot of these little subtleties of changing an RCA cord. I mean, that's a huge improvement for me in certain things, and there's reasons for me to do it. Same thing with my AC cord, and to have that ability is an important feature. I want
so you can still, so the arm, the features of the arm are essentially the same. So you can adjust the VTA. So
cuing,
the
anti-skid,
real difference is simply the material that it's made out of. It's aluminum.
tone arm
instead of-
tube, magnesium.
Yeah.
In the original, this is an aluminum tone arm tube, but it's still considered what we call a high sensitivity tone arm because the bearings have been improved, the wiring has been improved.
Yeah.
A lot of subtle points have been adjusted to tweak this up from the originals. And as I say, the torque is very strong. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm filing my nails right now.
Yep. Well, the interesting thing is that by keeping the form factor the same as the original 1200, you gain the benefit of the status of the classic nature of it, but you get into a situation where people say, well, it's the same as it was before. You have to fight that. So it's a two-edged, double-edged
that's our
sword.
job, I think, between Techniques and between people that do handle these and use them from day in and day out,
Yep.
fellows like you, that can actually, communicate the experiences
Yep.
that we're trying to show here. But as I say, it may be used in a club situation. It wouldn't necessarily benefit from these things
Right.
that we've added, but it still is a very usable turntable in that situation.
course.
It's more expensive these days to do the things that we've done. So in today's market, I think if it were around $2,000, I think it's something to consider even for DJs. So it gets a little heavier to carry two of them around because we're building
Well, look,
more
those
into
people
it.
that are worried about that are going to be doing it all digitally anyway, and the people that care will take the trouble to, because the records are heavy too.
The record's getting heavier too. That 180 gram vinyl is adds a little.
I know. I brought a couple with me. Okay, thank you. So this is a new Technics integrated with a built-in phono preamp. Is it a moving coil and moving
It's
magnet?
a moving magnet.
Moving magnet, okay.
And it has a lot of flexibility for connectivity. We've added multiple digital inputs. There's 2 optical inputs, 2 coaxial inputs, 2 line inputs, and 1 phono input. And there's a subsonic filter, and there's a built-in headphone amplifier, not just a headphone jack. We've addressed this. This is a nice new addition to have an actual
Beautifully
headphone
made. It looks
amplifier.
beautiful. What is
We've
that?
kept the styling cues with the meters.
What does that cost?
We expect it to be around a $2,500 range. It's 70 watts into 8 ohms, 140 into 4, and it has a pre-out and main in. So if you want to integrate it into a home theater system, you can do that. It also has a 32384 DAC, so it really lives in a huge digital architecture role.
Okay, thank you. You can see Technics has made an investment in high-end audio and high-quality audio. Look at these speakers.
The joy that you find here, you want. You cannot leave it.
5 years ago, this would have been a dream, an impossible thing to see.
But you